Hope the screen is visible to you. Yes. Okay. So computer forensics started almost in near about 30 years ago. Okay, by American enforcement and military organization. Yeah. So at the beginning, computer forensics can be divided into three phases: ad hoc phase, structured phase, and enterprise phase. Do you know ad hoc? What do you mean by ad hoc? Any idea about ad hoc?
No, sir.
No? Anyone? Any ad hoc network? You heard about the ad hoc network? Okay, ad hoc means in infrastructure less. Okay, for example, if we need to climb Himalaya, okay, there will be no networks in mobile phone, no in any type of signal is there. So somehow we have to create, for example, your hotspot. Okay, so when you create a hotspot, there is no earlier infrastructure in your place. Just you open the hotspot button, then you'll get the access. Okay, wherever there is no infrastructure, you have to create your own networks without any infrastructure. That is your ad hoc. Okay, so one of the types of computer forensic at the beginning was ad hoc phase, where there's no infrastructure for the computer forensics. So it is written in the beginning there was a lack of structure. Structure means infrastructure. Appropriate tool. There's no tools or written process and procedure. No clear goals were defined, and there was a lack of legal framework. There was nothing at the beginning. No process, no procedure, no structure, no tools. Okay, so from there they started the computer forensic. This is the first phase of computer forensics. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Next phase is structured phase. Okay, so in the first phase there is no infrastructure. Okay, then they develop some structure for computer forensics. Okay, so during this phase, various first generation tools, that means some of the tools they have developed, some of the techniques they developed, okay, but most of them were quite complex. Though they developed some of the techniques, but those are very complex in method. Okay, and the most important things is in this phase was the development and the enabling of the criminal legislation. So those are all complex method. In this phase, whatever they develop, all are complex to implement. That's why they go for the third phase, that is your enterprise phase. So in this case, what when tools were better developed, it's better than the previous one, structure phase. Remember in the first phase, that is the ad hoc phase, there is no no structure, no tools, nothing. Then in the structure phase, they have developed some of the tools, but those are complex tools. But in the enterprise phase, those are easier now. The easy techniques and written procedure is there. Some of the procedure they have written now how to go for the investigation and all. That means we are in the third phase, enterprise phase now. Okay. So this is the comparison here. Adopted in 1970. Near about now, how many years? 50 years. Okay, 50 years back. So at that time, they developed for financial fraud. For example, some monetary fraud, they find out using that in the adopt phase. Then the structure in 80s they developed little bit. Then the previous in 1970. Okay, but in 1984 they developed the structural phase. Okay, then they have little bit developed in 1987. Then in 1980 they this will be developed more, and then just continue from 1984 to 1995. 95 okay, and from up to 1998 structural phase was there during that duration. From 1999 they started the new one, that is the enterprise phase. Okay, and this continue till date. So that part I yesterday or that day already discussed what is cybercrime. Anyone can explain what is cybercrime? Tell me something about cybercrime. What we learned in last class. I'm waiting for your response. Are you there or just you are in online? Are you in
It's
active
like a
mode?
criminal activity. Yes, sir.
Yes. Say something about what we learned in last class. Cybercrime.
It's like a criminal activity that normally targets a computer or a network.
Okay, good. We're speaking Semili. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Need for computer forensic. That is clear to you already. There's lots of criminal activities online nowadays. Okay. For example, attacker may attack through email or through some others means. Okay. To protect from all these things or to identify who have done these crimes. Okay. We need to go for computer forensics nowadays. It's written here. Terrorists often use the internet for recruiting members of the organization as well as use of social networking site to propagate their ideas. Nowadays, the big thing is the social networking, right? Most of the crime will be happen using this social networking. Yes or no? Most of the crime. Cybercrime will be from the social networking. Money trafficking
Yes,
is
sir.
there, some others also there. Okay, so these Facebooks, Twitters, these all these things they are used as a means of crime. So these are the rules of computer forensics. What are the rules you have to follow? Some of the common rules are there. Rules for assemblability of evidence. That means what? Admissibility. How we admit those evidence in the court. Okay, that's the first rule. Then rules of chain of custody. Then rules of evidence integrity. Integrity means no alteration. Okay, it's how you save those evidence. So first one, how admissible, how we admit those evidence in the court. That is the first rule. Then say how we capture the criminal, and then the how is save those evidence in your computers or in your locker. Okay. The first rule is telling about to be admissible in the court of law, all evidence must be relevant to the case in the question. Okay. So if you are finding out some cybercrime attacks, that whatever you're collecting evidence that should be related to that matter only. If you are collecting some other things not related to that case, that cannot be admissible to or in the court. Okay. So all the evidence you are collecting must have to be related to that case. Right? So that is the first rule. Rule one. Then rule two. What is rule two? To be identifiable and authenticate, all evidence must be sufficient to support a claim. Illustrative self-authentication, such as public records, government official document, or government certified record with the seal. So, whatever you are collecting as a evidence, those must have some authentication method. That means somebody have to sign on those evidence. For example, you are collecting some document from a government office, so there should be some higher authority signature with seal on that document. Got it? What's the second rule? Two. If you want to submit a evidence in the court of law, okay, there must have to be authenticated by somebody, some higher authority or some government official, okay, with his seal and signature. Got it? So these two rules is for what? The first point, rules for admissibility of evidence. Here two rules for this. First rule is what? Can you tell me first rule of this rules of admissibility of evidence? What is the first rule and what's the second rule?
First release, all the evidence must be related to the matter,
Okay, good.
or it should be a valid proof so that we can show it in front of the court of law.
Okay, how valid? There must be some seal and signature of some authorities. Good. So next is rules for chain of custody. Okay, a chain of custody is a way to guarantee the identity and integrity of evidence. What do you mean by integrity? Any idea about integrity? Integrity means what? Normal terms.
Strong evidence.
What? Strong evidence.
Strong evidence.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone want to add something? What do you mean by integrity?
Sir, no alteration.
What?
No alteration of that.
Yeah, good.
No
No
alteration
alteration,
of that.
no alteration of data. That is the actual meaning. Okay. Integrate. If that means we have to be trust. Yes, must be trustable. Okay. Identity and integrity. That means my what is my identity and what is my integrity? मेरा जो strong point है वो no one must have to be altered. No one can sense those data. Okay, so it's talking about to guarantee the identity and integrity of the evidence from collection through the testimony of the analysis report in the court of law. Okay, when you collect those evidence that must have to be integrity and identity. Okay, is it clear? The chain of custody document contain the following information. What are the information of a chain of custody? These two, three. Who seizes the evidence? You know, seize means first point. Any idea? We are discussing the chain of custody rule. Okay. The first document is this. That means the first person who collect those evidence at the time of crime, their name, designation, email, phone number, everything should be there in this document. Who have collected the first evidence, those must be in that recorded document. Got it? And when those document is collected, the second point, actual time, date, the system, everything. Okay? Who collected, their details, and when collected, okay? And what are the document is collected at the time of crime. The third point, physical description of the evidence item, serial number, tag, marks, whatever. If you collect a hard drive, there is a serial number, company name, whatever, the configuration of the hard drive, everything have to be noted down at the time of what? Collection of the evidence. So we are talking about the
Excuse me,
digital
sir.
evidence. Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
some students are waiting.
Okay. Is it clear? Talk about this chain of custody. What are the three documents? What are the three rules of chain of custody? What are the documents they have to collect? Chain of custody they have three main documents. What are that three documents? Anyone want to explain? I'm waiting for response. Anyone?
Seized evidence means the person whoever at first collects or goes at the spot
Okay.
or collects various evidence, that is the seized evidence, and at what time the evidence was seized it is required in where or where he have from where he have collected the evidences.
Okay. And last point, whatever evidence
And
you collected, yeah, continue. That
and
serial
the last
number,
point is
tags, whatever
the
models,
tag
everything have to be noted down.
have to be noted down.
Yes. So it's clear, everyone? Any doubt up to
No
this?
sir. No sir.
Only you are active. Anyone others active members? One boy name I don't know who speak that time. Race
Ujjwal he's
or Ujjwal. I got only two active person. Anyone want to say something? Parag. Yeah, speak something. Any doubt? Niharika Duara.
no sir.
Yeah, any doubt?
No.
Is clear to you?
Yes sir.
Okay. So last one is your rules for evidence integrity. How you save those evidence? How you give the safeguard of those evidence you have collected? So I think it remember at the first rule what you did in the first rule. We're discussing three rules. Okay, first one what? याद है किसी को? Yeah, in the first rule again you have two sub rules. Rule one, rule two. We discussed. What was that? Forgot.
Ev-
Yeah.
Evidence that should be related to the matter.
Okay. And second one?
It should be no alteration of the evidences.
No. So there should be some signature and something from higher authorities or government officials. Yes.
Mm.
Then we discuss
Yes sir.
about the chain of custody method. So there are three documents must have to be there. Okay. Those three documents already you have mentioned. Okay. Now rules for evidence integrity. Now you are talking about this rule of evidence. So no one can alter those evidence you have collected. So to ensure that the evidence in question is not altered, various methods for are employed. Some of these are what are the method for evidence integrity. Okay, first one, bit by bit copy. What is the meaning of this? Bit by bit copy. In the first class I mentioned, I think, first or second class, when I was discussing about uh, what is computer forensic. What is the meaning of bit by bit copy? Any idea?
To copy all the information of the hard drive and storage devices.
Very good. Shamoli today is active, 100% active, no? Good. क्या
Yes
खाया
sir.
आज क्या खाया
Sir,
सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट में?
sir कुछ नहीं खाया अभी अभी सो के उठी हूँ.
ये same thing with me also. Anyone others than Shamoli you want to say something? What is bit by bit copy? It is related to rules for evidence integrity. I want to listen from you, people. Anyone else? No one interested to say anything?
The question
Question was, what is the meaning of bit by bit copy? So Adil Hussain, I unmuted you. Speak. What do you mean by bit by bit? What you understand?
cup
মানে 0 আৰু 1
কোৱা কৈ থাকা কি কৈছা? Okay, I want to listen from Mandip Thakur. Speak Mandip Thakur. I unmuted you. Speak.
স্যার
Ah.
স্যার নাজানো
কিবা idea কি একো idea নাই. Bit by bit copy. Copy means what?
কপি কৰা
Okay, bit by bit means
small
okay.
evidence.
তো কিয় নাজানো বুলি কৈছা? তুমি মাথা মাৰাই নাই. বুজি পাইছা নাই?
পাইছো স্যার এতিয়া
মাথা মাৰিলে কিয় নোৱাৰিবা? শব্দটোতে গম পাইছা. So why I'm doing these things? Otherwise you will feel bored. I also feel bored. You will not speak anything. Sit idle. I don't know whether you are there or not. Okay, my flow will be not coming if that types of communication happen with you and me. Okay, so bit by bit copy. So this is the rules for evidence integrity. Why we need to copy bit by bit? Because each and every evidence in our storage device or whatever we have collected must have to be copied. In the first class, I mentioned when you go to the crime place, first you have to collect for example, the hard disks. So once you collect the hard drive, you have to copy each and everything. That's the meaning of bit by bit copy to the duplicate copy. Okay, then whatever investigation you have to do, you have to do in the duplicate copy, not in the original copy. Is it clear, everyone?
ইয়েস স্যার
Okay, Parag, clear? Parag Jyoti Burman.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Niharika Duara. Are you there, Niharika?
sir
It's clear to you why bit by bit copy need to do? Sania Das. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Saurabh.
Yes, sir.
Clear? So I'll do this type of things in between. Otherwise you will be sleep sometime. Okay? I'll call by your name. If you will not speak. Or Sangita. Sangita is there. Sangita. Sangita নাই নেকি?
Yes, sir. মোৰ বহুত নেট প্ৰব্লেম দি আছে ছাৰ আজি
নেট প্ৰব্লেম দিলেও শুনা পাই আছো নহ'ল অলপ থাকিলে হ'ল
নাই ছাৰ আপোনাৰ মাতটো বাৰে বাৰে ফাঁচি যায় আহে মাজতে নাছিলে অলপ তেন্তে আৰু নতুনকে কানেক্ট
মই
কৰিছে আৰু
নিজে
ই
ফুৰিব
কৰিছে
গৈছিলো সেইকাৰণে নাছিলো পাইছা এতিয়া আহি গৈছে না এতিয়া না মাত ঠিক আছে continue. So next point is evidence is locked in a safe and limited access cabinet called safe or vault. Obviously, I already mentioned. So once you collect that evidence, and that evidence must have to be kept in some locker system. So no one can access those evidence after collection. Okay. So within 5 minutes, your meeting will be over. Let me complete. Next is use of cryptographic hash like MD5. Cryptography পঢ়িছা নেকি last semester?
Sure.
পঢ়িছা ন? These are some cryptographic method. MD5, SH1, SH2, all these types of algorithm. These are used to hide those actual information. So after collecting, you are keeping it locked, and at the same time you have to use some cryptographic hash techniques to encrypt all those data. Okay, then use of write blocker to protect the evidence from modification. Some write blocker is also a techniques to hide those data, or no one can modify the actual data. And create and maintain chain of custody document. This is already we have discussed in the second point. Custody document is nothing but when you have collected, who collected, okay, and then last point was what? I also forgot. Yeah, text serial numbers and all the text should be maintained. So this is all about your what? What we are discussing?
Also,
Rules for
Rules
computer
of computer.
forensic. Okay, is it clear? So these are the rules we discussed already: rules for admissibility of evidence, rules for chain of custody, and rules for evidence integrity. For your exam, some of the question already gathered out. Okay, this will be must in the exam. What are the rules of admissibility, rules for chain of custody, and what are the documents of chain of custody you have to maintain? Then what are the rules for evidence integrity? Okay, what is computer forensics? What is cyber crimes? What are the law of cyber crimes? Okay, all these questions already. Yeah. Okay. So maybe by tomorrow I'll give some assignment in the Google Classroom. Till now I not created the Google Classroom. I'll create by tomorrow or today. Okay, I'll share all the class note, previous class note, and as well as I'll give some homeworks. You have to write it in your copy and you have to submit in the Google Classroom. Got it? So now you send your attendance in my WhatsApp. Write your enrollment ID and date, today's date. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir.
Yes, sir.